I would like to present a paper entitled Perspective and Reality of Young People in Slovakia in the Dimensions of Selected Subsystems of Social Policy. This paper is supported by the project Youth Policy as a Part of Civil Society. People are an important social capital of society. They form its present and future. Young people are often exposed to various life situations which they gradually encounter during their lives. The quality of life of young people in Slovakia is conditioned by several areas of social policy, so these issues are very important to research. Society offers the young person the opportunity to mature to full and self-sufficient individuality. At the same time, young people are expected to take advantage of the opportunities offered. State policy in relation to youth seeks to ensure that all young people have the standard conditions for their physical and mental development. At the same time, mechanisms are in place in society to protect young people. It is in interest of the state that young people enter practical life ready and determined to participate in the development of society. From the point of view of the state, young people are understood primarily as those who are learning to orientate themselves in the field of work and become citizens. Therefore, in this direction, the government influenced all elements in the mosaic of youth life through systematic changes. The aim of the paper is to point out the analysis of selected factors or areas that affect the life situation of young people in Slovakia. We pay attention to the areas. First, support and protection of the establishment of young families and preparation for parenthood. Second, support for the employment of young people. And third, support for young people housing policy. These are really key areas that influence young people's behavior as well as their abilities and life prospects. At the same time, they enable young people to live in dignity in real life. Young people are significantly affected by social changes, which causes a change in their way of life. Image of young people's lives has, among others, the following features. Family, as a marriage transformation of marriage into partnership. Second, work, emphasis of individual self-realization at work, new links of the work, further education, unemployment and employment. And the third, housing as a decent housing. Several surveys suggest that young people are very sensitive, especially to social insecurities. In several surveys concerned about one's own job and the standards of living or possibility of independent living in the future are expressed in various contexts. According to a survey conducted by the Slovak Youth Council in 2017, also a rather optimistic mood prevails in the assessment of their own future. Only less than a third of young people in Slovakia are strongly convinced of this. This applies to evaluation that in the horizon of 3 years will be able to live independently of their parents. They will be able to manage to pay their bills, have a state job, or start a family if they want to. Young people who at the same time declared their interest in moving permanently from their country are often more optimistic in their assessment of the future. The survey also shows that, according to young people, rising prices and the cost of living are a very serious problem. As many as 93% of young people consider this issue to be a very serious problem. Now we speak some facts about demographics of the population in Slovak Republic. The territory of the Slovak Republic is divided into 79 districts and 8 regions according to the valid territorial administrative division. As of 31 September 2020, the Slovak Republic has a population of 5.3 million, of which the youth representation is 1.8 million under the age of 30. Young people represent 33.98% of total population in Slovakia. In this paper, we work with methodology, especially with analysis of secondary data relating to selected monitored areas focused on young people in Slovakia. The data we use in the paper are of a quantitative character. We are based on data from national institutions and other relevant entities. We will use the method of analysis, synthesis, induction, and deduction to achieve the set goals. Another key method we use in the paper is descriptive statistics. The first area of our analysis is young family. Education from marriage and parenthood is a very important aspect for the development of young people, parents in life together. In Slovakia, there is an initiative of non-governmental organizations that bring together experts committed to strengthening the functioning of families. In addition to the family and the school, many state and non-state entities, including churches, operate on young people throughout their programs. Reserves in marriage and parenthood education with a specific focus are an alternative education facilities and social services facilities, especially in relation to mentally handicapped children and young people. We have 3 recommendations for the implementation of family policy. First, assistance and support to children and young people should be differentiated according to the demographic trends and changes in the family structure and their regional differences. Second, assistance and support of quality family relationship, especially parent-child, individual rights, conflict resolution, etc. And the third, for young families, future parents, strength sex education and education to marriage and parenthood, planned parenthood, parent responsibility, etc. The second area of our analysis is support for the employment of young people. Unemployment of young people has a negative effect on their inclusion in the work process. The high-risk social group in relation to unemployment, which is young people under the age of 29, is the most vulnerable and at the same time form a large group of citizens. Youth unemployment in the European Union age 15 to 29 is around 15%. In the conditions of the Slovak Republic, in the examined age category, the value represents approximately 16%. Current schemes or national projects from Ministry of Social Affairs and Family Slovak Republic, which are designed to support the employment of young people under the age of 29, can be divided into the following types of projects. First, support for job creation, and second, projects aimed at motivating young people to work and take up work for lower wages. The results of the implementation of individual projects for young people under the age of 29 is experience, skills, new knowledge, and became an active part of working life. For projects, we allocated 30 million euros. There is also an initiative to support the employment of young people in Slovakia. It is support for increasing the employment and employability of young people using innovative tools such as internship training. A young person can become a more competitive and suitable employee for a potential employer. However, the impending economic recession caused by the coronavirus pandemic also has an impact of employment of young people across Europe. The third area of our analysis is housing. The biggest item for the life of a starting family is getting an apartment or other form of separate housing. However, the lack of financial resources at the beginning of a young family's life together often forces them to stay with their parents. However, up to 74% of young people ages 18 to 34 live in Slovakia with their parents, which is the highest share compared to other European countries. According to survey, the main reason for postponing the establishment of a family is perceived by most young people, up to 45.4%, precisely because of the financial inability of their own housing. We recommended two basic options for intervention tools of housing policies. First are universal tools aimed at most households, for example, building saving mortgages for young people. And second are selective instruments aimed at social weakness group of the population, for example, housing allowance, rental housing. Young families are the target group for which it would be possible to use support in the form of start-up flats, rental flats, or a financial contribution in the form of tax relief for mortgages as a tax bonus for young recipients up to 35 years of age. In this context, we can say that it's a systematic measure by the states because on the one hand, young families are given the opportunity to provide for their family with their own housing and temporarily lead a full life. Young people strive for their own housing and take out an apartment or house for a mortgage as one of main reasons for getting into debt. Solutions are rental apartments for young people because the rental price is from 20 to 40% lower than in classic commercial rentals. Rental housing for young people and young families is one step closer to reality, and the self-government in Slovakia has shown interest in this type of housing, with the estimated project to start within 3 years. Conclusion of our paper is that in Slovakia the issue of young people often appears only as a political issue. A good tool for measuring the quality of life of young people based on meeting their needs, with the prospect of application not only at the global but also at the national level is the so-called Youth Progress Index. Youth Progress Index includes evaluations for 102 countries in Europe and the world, including Slovakia. Finland scores the highest in terms of opportunities for young people. Slovakia placed 25th with a total score 76.99. The states should bring systematic solution to all three selected areas. These categories are interconnected and cannot operate in isolation. Thank you for attention.